Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Totalbiscuit, and I want to take a little bit of time to talk about a game that was, in fact, in my top 10 games for 2011, and was released for 360 and PS3. It goes by the name of Dark Souls. Now, I've been thinking for the longest time that Demon Souls and Dark Souls would certainly have a home on PC, and there was a thread posted over on the Namco Bandai forums, the EU one specifically, as regards to the idea of porting the actual game over to PC, and Namco Bandai had a little bit of a mixed response to that. For instance, Tizza responded on the 19th of April 2011, which is obviously quite some time ago, that there won't be a PC version of Dark Souls. Admittedly, this was before the game actually came out. And then there were responses from others that said, well, you know what, maybe, possibly, what about if you guys let us know how much you really wanted it and things like that. So I thought I'd make a quick video describing the reasons to bring Dark Souls to PC and see if any of you actually agree with them, and if you do, then there is a petition that you can sign. I don't know how much difference it'll really make, but I suppose it's good to show them something and say, hey, look, many people signed this petition. There was definitely interest and awareness of the brand there. And also, if you happen to want to discuss it and make your voice known as to whether or not you want this game on PC, then by all means, leave a comment in the comment section below this video. Anyway, so reasons to make Dark Souls on PC. So I think a lot of you have been paying attention, I certainly hope you have, as regards to the recent concurrent users for Steam. It recently passed 5 million, so it's becoming quite obvious that the market is actually growing in strength day by day. See, consoles are actually starting to fall really far behind in terms of their capability, because we've been stuck in a console generation that's been one of the longest ever. These consoles have been out for 7 years, and the hardware is, of course, more than 7 years old. Consider a PC that was 7 years old. It's great that you can run modern games on hardware that is so old, but let's be honest, the PC has left them behind in terms of its graphical capability, and it is merely, I believe, because of the exceptional programming skill and trickery put in place by people developing for consoles that we don't see the more pronounced differences between the two. PC gamers with the kind of spec PC able to run a game like Dark Souls are, by their very nature, hardcore gamers and have taken up the PC as their chosen platform simply because it is factually the superior platform in terms of its capability. A console cannot keep up with a high-spec PC. It is simply impossible to do so. These are the kind of people, in my opinion, that would actually appreciate a title like Dark Souls. And bear in mind this, the PC actually has a proven track record of appreciation for hardcore titles. A great recent example of this would be Witcher 2. That recently introduced, by the way, an even harder difficulty to an already tricky game. At the demand of its users, it went by the name of Dark Mode. There's plenty of PC users who actually hunger for a challenge. For instance, when BioShock proved too easy, users modded it to make it harder. PC gamers take pride in taking on ridiculous challenges such as QWOP, I Want to Be the Guy, and of course Super Meat Boy, not to mention ROM hacks such as Kaizo Mario World. Honestly, PC gamers are the most hardcore there is, and how could they not be? You're talking about a group of people that are willing to spend between $500 and $4,000 on a rig. They are serious about their games, and as a result, they are looking for serious experiences like Dark Souls. The PC also has a rich history of CRPGs spanning over 3 decades. The fact is that PC gamers love RPGs. The massive success of games like Skyrim on the PC as well as The Witcher 2 are proof that this desire for good quality RPG experiences still exists, and that's without mentioning the many millions of gamers who choose to play MMORPGs. Dark Souls style of hardcore RPG, which focuses on a high skill requirement, the defeating of monstrous challenges and the acquisition of gear, fits perfectly into a market where tens of millions of players have attempted to do just that in MMOs. The fact that Dark Souls does in fact have a multiplayer mode, whereas many recent PC RPGs such as Skyrim, Witcher 2 and Dragon Age do not, is also a factor that caters nicely to the desire of PC gamers to actually play online with others, even if it is in the form of solitude that is offered by Dark Souls. Many PC gamers also love to drink in atmosphere. Think about this, the blockbuster success of Amnesia: The Dark Descent. That should be proof enough that this is the case. This is a game that inspires terror and dread in its players. Stalker's another example, a game which offered a very oppressive, dark atmosphere and heaps of challenge. Yet, enterprising modders took on the task to make it even scarier and more atmospheric. Many PC gamers do appreciate immersion and atmosphere, both of which Dark Souls provides in spades. Now, I think one of the most fantastic things about the PC is the ability to realize From Software's true vision for the game without the hardware limitations of a console. Don't get me wrong, Dark Souls and indeed Demon Souls look absolutely fantastic on console, but think about the capabilities of a PC and what could be done there. The graphical power of a PC is able to render the Dark Souls world in the level of detail it deserves. We're talking about increased view distance, anti-aliasing, anisotropic filtering. Wouldn't it be good to unshackle the game and remove the limitations imposed upon it by aging console hardware? Would it be a challenge to translate the controls onto mouse and keyboard? Well, absolutely, there's no real doubt about that, although potentially the precision of mouse and keyboard allows for even greater feats of skill. And yes, it's difficult to do, there's no doubt about that. PC gamers can of course use a control pad without too much of a problem, but many of them will want to play on mouse and keyboard. It could be a challenge to translate those particular controls over, but let's be honest here, when we talk about From Software, we talk about a developer that is keen on providing many challenges for gamers, and they don't seem like the kind of developer to shy away from one. Now, let's talk Turkey. We're going to talk a little bit about the business of PC gaming. The PC market is geared towards a long and steady revenue stream for developers and publishers. Because of the massive shift towards digital distribution platforms, the used game market barely exists on PC, whereas it runs rampant on console. Thanks to the shift towards buying games on Steam, Direct-to-Drive, Gamersgate, and other digital platforms, the idea of shelf space and stock ceases to be a factor. The extra expense of the distributor and the production and shipping of physical copies ceases to exist. A digital release goes worldwide instantly and, more importantly, remains available to everyone for an indefinite period of time. Whereas console games are shoved off the shelf in a brick-and-mortar store in favor of newer titles and become harder and harder to find, forcing many to resort to purchasing used games which the publisher and developer don't see a penny from the sale of, PC games are part of a long and steady sales cycle which spans years. PC games see surges in sales long after their release, whereas console games do not. This is due to a variety of factors, including the ability to offer a digital copy at various discounted price points over the course of several years. An example. At the time of creating this video, Age of Empires 3 sits at the top of the Steam sales charts, above titans like Skyrim and Modern Warfare 3. Age of Empires 3 was released over 6 years ago, yet they're able to sell this game in great numbers today. This never happens with a console title. Games released 6 years ago on 360 and PS3 are to be found in bargain bins and buried on used game shelves. 6-year-old console titles do not sell, yet games even older than that do on PC. Another example, something even stronger perhaps, the XCOM Complete Pack currently sits at number 4 on the Steam charts. How could that possibly be? UFO Enemy Unknown was released almost 20 years ago. There are rare occasions when collections of older titles from previous generation consoles will be sold as a bundle on a newer console, but older titles sell on PC all the time. Consider that a few years down the line, the only copies of Dark Souls that will be available for console will be used. Namco and From will not be seeing a penny from those sales, yet a few years down the line of the PC, a Steam sale with a discount pops up for Dark Souls, and suddenly the game sells untold thousands of new copies without the developer or publisher having to lift a finger. That is the strength of a digital-based PC market, a potentially infinite sales cycle for a title. And by the way, more and more publishers are starting to figure that out. This kind of strength should not be ignored. I hope you can see there's a huge potential for both Dark Souls and Demon Souls on PC. Opening the games up for modding could greatly extend the lifespan of the titles, encouraging more people to purchase, even convincing some console owners of the game, including myself, to purchase the game twice. And don't think that that's unusual, it happens. Hell, people will willingly buy a game on Steam that they already own on disc just because it's more convenient. Yes, they are willing to do this, and if they can get a better experience for a game they enjoy on a different platform like the PC, yes, they will go for it. If you guys want to help trying to convince Namco and From to bring Dark Souls to the PC, then there is a petition available. The link is in the description below this video. It's over at tinyurl.com/DarkSoulsPC. That is tinyurl.com/DarkSoulsPC. I've also posted a link to the thread where you can share your thoughts with the Namco guys who are reading that thread at the moment. It's not really a case of bullying Namco or From into doing anything. It would just be nice to see a game like this actually make its way to PC. You know what, I'm just sick of really cool hardcore games like Monster Hunter and like Dark Souls not finding their way to the PC platform where they'd actually be appreciated in the Western market. Have a think about that. My name's been Totalbiscuit, and I will see you next time.